Hey guys, welcome to Coding with Tom. Today we will be using Apple's new declarative framework, SwiftUI, to create the list that we did last time on UIKit. So we'll create a list where we can add products, we can delete them, and we can edit the table view. In SwiftUI, making a list adaptable to iPad is much easier. So as an additional challenge, we'll make it so that when we tap on the image, we'll zoom on it, and we'll also dismiss the text in an animated way. Let's get on with it. Let's begin by creating our project. It's going to be named the same, and here instead of using storyboard, we're going to use SwiftUI. Because the only difference here will be the use of SwiftUI, we're going to still be using the same images. As well as the services and model that we have created in our UIKit project. Come in and drag the model and the services needed. And there's it. So this is our model. For those of you that were not in the previous video or haven't seen it yet, this is our model. We have an order which has a list of products that we are going to be adding to the order. We're going to have a total, which is just the sum of the prices of these products on the order. Then we have a formatted total where we present this total in a just more UI-friendly way to the user. And for each of our products, we have a name, a price, the name of the image in our XD assets, and a description. Here we have created a formatted price variable to again get the price in a more UI-friendly way. In our services, we just have one service, the product service. So our product service gives us the products available in the store. So this is the product that we have for now. And we have the same description for all, which is just a low image. Let's start with our scenes. We're going to create a new group, the scenes, and we're going to start with our order. Now for this scene, we are going to use the default view that Xcode creates, which is going to be the content view. And let's just rename it. OrderView. Now, our order will have the list of products, but let's start this time from the bottom up. So let's start first creating our sale. So if you remember from the previous episode, what we had was an HStack in which we have the image on the left, then the name, and then the price. So let's start with an image of the bench. Then we'll have some text with the name of the product, so let's go with bench. And then we have some more text with the price. So say 40. And there we have. Now, you will see that the image of the bench is covering the entire screen. This is because we need to set a modifier for the image to be resizable. Then we need to modify the aspect ratio so that it fits. And let's add also a frame to have a width and height, a fixed width and height of 80 pixels, 80 points, sorry. Notice that the name and the price are aligned. That's not what we wanted. We want to have the name on the top part of the cell and the price on the lower part. Also, the name should be left aligned and the price right aligned. Now, to do that, we are going to embed both of these in a VStack. And each of them will be in an HStack with a spacer. This spacer will be creating an empty space and will be actually moving this view. So you'll see it moves to the left. And let's do exactly the same here, but we're going to place the spacer first so that it displays the price to the right. So here, spacer. Now, additionally, you will see that the price is right here to the edge. Same for the image. For that, we're going to be adding a padding. It's going to be horizontal. So now that we have our cell ready, let's move this to another view since we don't want to have this view cluttered. And basically, we're not going to change anything else from here. So let's create a new view for this, which is going to be the product view. Okay. Now the product view, like in our other exercise, is going to use a product view model. Now the view model is going to have a name. It's going to have an image name. And it's going to have a price. Add the view model to our preview. So to add our bench here. And let's drag it here. There we go. Now here, instead of having just a product view, let's add this on a list. For now, let's also pass in our test product. And here we have our list. Let's move on with the order view. So our order view will have a view model, just as it had in the previous exercise. Created. It's going to be our order view model. Now we'll be importing SwiftUI here so that our view model can conform to the observable object protocol. And it will have a variable, which is going to be the order. And the order is going to be published. Start with an order. Let's create an initializer for this with the order. We will add a default initializer for an order with empty products. Order. For now, that's it for our view model. So we'll change the name of this file. Now, in our content preview, we want to have our order, but I've taken the liberty of creating a test order. So let's start this with our view model. An observed object, so it's going to be observing the order. But it's not going to observe the order directly. It's going to be observing our view model. Here, let's add the view model. Now in this list for now, we have been actually creating 5 dummy products. Oh, we will also have to create the view model here. View model, order view model, and this time we will create the view model with an empty order. Now, instead of just creating 5 benches, let's actually put in this product. So we will be adding a list, but we will be using the range in the list. Instead, we'll be using a for each. Now let's use this one. Now you'll see what's going to happen. So we're going to use the view model and we're going to use the order, the products. Now we have this ID, and then we have the view, which is going to be the product view. This here, and let's move the padding here. Okay, so and on our product view, we're going to use product in, and here we're just going to pass the product. Let's get view model. Let's create this method in our product. Now we're missing here an ID. So for each view requires that each of these items products be identifiable. So for this, we're gonna also make our product identifiable, and we're gonna add a UUID just each time we create a product. Over here, we just have to specify the path. The ID is going to be this one, and that's it. We're passing it. Let's try once more. And there we have it. Now we'll add a navigation view so that we can have a navigation bar where we can present the total. This we will use the navigation bar title, and we will be showing the view model dot order the formatted total. See it up here. And let's begin just with the add sign. For that, we will be using navigation bar item. For that, we will be using a button. In this section, we'll have view model dot add product. I think just an image. I'm gonna use an SF symbol for this plus. And let's go to our view model and create this function. Now I'll be also creating a delete product and move product. We'll address those in an instant. Okay, now let's go here and let's add a product. We'll get a random product from our list of products that we'll be fetching from a service. Service. This. We'll use the product service adapter. And we'll also have a list of products that are available. Store products. And it will just be the list of products that the product service returns. Random element. And we will just be appending this to our products orders. Go back to our order view. Let's try running this. So we can scroll with the list. Let's tap on add, and you can see that we added another direct picture. Now we still don't have our gestures, so let's add those. Let's prepare our view model. So we delete products at an index set. And you move products from also an index set from an index set to an offset, but in this case, it's an int. So we'll be adding this method to our product. Oh, sorry, not here. Well, these modifiers are part here of the for each, so we're not going to be moving those. So we're going to be performing a move view model move product, and on delete we're going to be performing view model dot delete product. Now remember that the swipe gesture to delete is, you have it there if you're implementing this function, so you can actually swipe to delete, but the move, we need to set the editing mode of the view. So for that, we're going to also add a leading bar button, which is going to be our edit button. For this one, the only thing we need is actually creating an edit button, which already exists. And it will do all of the job of switching the editing state of the list for us. Let's resume. Now you'll see that now we have an edit button. So let's first add. We haven't broken that. Let's try swiping for deleting to the bench. And let's tap on edit. Now you will see that it automatically changes to done. We can actually move things around. I tap on done, and the editing style goes away. So we're almost done. Now what we're missing is just when we tap on one of these holes, we go to the product detail. Let's first create that view before actually navigating there. And this view is just going to receive a product. Add a test product here. Instead of showing the text, let's first show the image. And then we will show the description. Now, as you can see, again, we need to resize this, but first, let's worry about our order view. Let's leave that finish, and then we can ascend to our product view. So here, our product view, the only thing that we need to do is embed it in a navigation link. So we just need to set the destination, which is going to be our product detail. We just have to put in a product, the same product that we're using to build this. We'll just be adding a closure. And that's pretty much it. You'll see that once we added the navigation link, the system has already added the caret for us, so the user knows that when he taps on this cell, he will be taken to another view. Now let's try running this. And when we tap on bench, you can see that we go here, same thing. So now let's do something about our detail view. Now that we have dealt with the order view, let's finish this. So first of all, I want the image to be resizable. As we have seen, we can make it so that its aspect ratio is fit instead of fill. I also want the image to be centered. Now to do that, I'll add a spacer on top and a spacer on the bottom. And there we have kind of a center image with the text view. Now you'll remember that the text view right now, the text, sorry, here is showing the description. The description will be a long text, and we're not expecting the text to fit in the entire screen. So what we're going to do is add a scroll view. This will make the text scrollable. Now also I want a title. So again, I will embed this in a navigation view. And we'll make the title of the navigation view be the name of the product. Product.name. Passing to iPad and macOS here, it's going to be easier. So as I mentioned, the challenge here is going to be when I tap on this image, I want it to zoom and I want this text to disappear. So for that, we're going to add a state variable. Is zoom, which is going to start on false. So when we are zoomed, we're going to be changing the aspect ratio to be .fill. Else, we're going to add fit. Now the same for the text, which is now a scroll view. If only if we are not zoomed, we're going to be showing the text. Otherwise, it won't appear. And we're going to be changing this state when we tap on the image. So for that, we have also a modifier, which is on tap gesture. And there, the only thing that we're going to do is self.isZoom. We're going to toggle it, which is just changing the value of the flag. Now let's try running this. So as you can see, when I tap on the image, it gets even larger to cover almost the entire screen, and hello world disappears. Now, as you can see right now, it is kind of flashing. So we want to have a more smoother animation. We can do just that. So here on our gesture, we can add actually the method with animation. And this is just, we're gonna move this inside the animation closure. Now let's update our preview. And you can see now that with the animation, we have a more smoother transition that we can even stop midway by tapping again. Now, I will also like my text to be dismissed from the bottom. So when it goes away, it will slide down and it will slide in when zooming back out. So for that, I will add to my scroll view a transition, which will be moved from the bottom. Let's try it again. As you can see, it is sliding down. It will be much clearer when we have a larger description and we can see this going down. Now that we have this ready, let's try running the app on a device. Okay, so we have this ready. So let's add some products. Let's go to the wooden table. And here, as you can see, when I click on this, we get a zoom, and you can see how the description is sliding up and down. If I click midway, then the animation stops. And we have all the expected behaviors. We can drag, exit of editing mode, we can delete. That's it. We're pretty much done here. Now let's try building this on an iPad and see what we have to modify. Now, if you remember in the UI Kit app, we had to switch our navigation controller for a UI split view controller. Here in SwiftUI, it will be much easier because, as you can see, List already implements this behavior. Let's try adding some products. Let's go to the wooden table. Now, as you can see, there is something we have to address. Here, when presenting in a list, right now the navigation stack is by the navigation view style by default is 2 columns. So right now, wooden table is also in that mode. That's one thing we need to change. So let's improve that. So that we'll go to our product detail, and in our navigation view, we'll add the navigation view style. It's going to be a stack navigation view style. And that's pretty much all we have to do. Again, we want our order to do have the 2-column style. It's just the detail, the one that has to be different. So let's try adding a product here, the coffee table. I'm going to click here, and as you can see, we still have all of our animations. Let's switch to landscape, and now we're occupying the entire screen. Let's add, and that's pretty much it. Now, you may notice a bug here because I use the ID as the identifier in the list. If we have 2 products of the same, then we'll have a bug. So let's see. Here we have 2 director chairs. Now, if I tap here and if I, let's say, try to delete this one, you will notice that the first one was deleted. That's because we were using one common ID for both. We will be addressing this issue in a further lesson when we are creating orders and the products that get added to the order actually are given their own identifier. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to fix this in this exercise. Because we implemented the iPad app, we also get the same benefit than the UI kit because we support iPad. When we run on macOS Catalina, we also get our Mac app. There we go. We have our 2 columns. We have here on the left our products, which is actually supporting dark mode. And when I click on one, I can see the bench here. Again, it supports the same animations. I can resize this view, and it adapts. So that's pretty much it. I hope you liked this lesson. I really enjoyed using SwiftUI. See you next time.